Mark, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, how has the decision come to be with the punishment?
On the decision, we began looking into it immediately after it happened at the game. Both NBA and Warriors interviewed Mr. Stevens to get his side of the story. We, of course, collected all the video and interviewed some of the people who were sitting nearby. I spoke to Kyle Lowry after the game, gathered the facts, and I think that the ultimate decision on the discipline came about over the course of today in discussions between the league office and the Warriors.
Why not a lifetime?
I think we recognize that it's not a science in terms of making these decisions. I think ultimately we felt that given how contrite Mr. Stevens was, the fact that he was extraordinarily apologetic, the fact that he had no blemishes on his prior involvement with the NBA or the Warriors, that a one-year ban seemed appropriate together.
Now, Mr. Silver, you seem to really partner with your team, the players. I say, was the players' feedback taken into consideration, or did you consult with any players, any of your player personnel men?
Yes, player feedback was taken into consideration. We spoke to several different players today from around the league, and I listened to the commentary as well. And so I think it's my job to take into account all the various members of the NBA family. And as I said, I'd like to think that whether there's an issue that involves a team investor, as the case here, or a player, that everyone's afforded due process and that we don't necessarily respond to immediate sentiment that of the most dramatic thing we could do in a situation, but that we act in a way we would expect people to act towards us if we had made a mistake. And I think ultimately here, there's no question Mr. Stevens made a terrible mistake. And from my standpoint, he's paying an enormous price for it. Not just in terms of the discipline, the ban, and the fine, but reputationally in this community as well. And my sense is he really understands that and has taken it to heart as well. And just as I said earlier, this is not something that has happened in my tenure in the NBA, and I don't expect it to happen in the future.
Do you feel the need to put a statement out for everybody to follow moving forward to prevent situations like that from occurring again?
Well, I think by talking to the media, I am putting out a statement. I certainly, as I said, I've talked to lots of different people over the course of today, and I certainly will answer any question asked of me regarding this incident. We do have a code of conduct. As I said here, this isn't a typical fan sitting courtside. This is an investor in the team, and as the league said earlier today in our statement, we do believe that people who are members of a team or organization or the league should be held to a higher standard, and I believe Mr. Stevens was.
Adam, and I've heard everything you've said. How did you come to the decision to stop short of trying to get him to divest his interest in the Warriors? And do you think that is ultimately going to happen?
I have no knowledge about his plans or discussions with the team to divest his interest. As I said, I thought this was the appropriate discipline in this situation. I would say all of these cases are very fact-specific, and I felt that a one-year ban and a $500,000 fine was appropriate in this situation.
Did he acknowledge using the language that Kyle Lowry said he used?
I know he was interviewed. I know he acknowledged using inappropriate language. I don't know if it matched word for word with what Kyle said, but there was no dispute over the facts. And even beginning last night, he was very forthcoming and said what I did was 100% wrong. And so there was no attempt on his part to suggest that the words weren't what were attributed to him. I think both in words and deeds, and his deeds last night, as I said, there was never a dispute as to what happened.
Did he say whether alcohol was involved?
I don't know.
Did you commend Kyle?
Because he's a shareholder. This issue has flared, it reared its head every couple of months during the season. Where's your confidence level in the overall security system, the way you guys try to approach these types of things that you have?
My confidence is high in our security system. As someone earlier pointed out, I mean, we do have a sport where fans are right up against. And so I think incidents are going to happen. I don't think there's true safety issues involved here last night. I think my biggest concern in the first instance is a potential impact on the competition. I want to compliment Kyle. I thought he handled it extraordinarily well. And certainly he kept his cool. He did what was appropriate. And he did what we train our players to do, which is to point out to either the officials on the floor or to the security in the arena anything that they feel has put them in a threatening situation and let them handle it and go back to playing the game. That's obviously what he did in this situation, and he turned his focus right back to the competition. So that's the best we can hope for. I think, I don't want to certainly guarantee there won't be another incident, but I will say again, what we saw last night seemed very atypical to anything that I've experienced in my time with the league.
Did you initial reaction when you saw him hit last night? What was your initial reaction?
My initial reaction, based on where my seat was, I couldn't quite see precisely what happened. I didn't see the push, but I certainly saw Kyle's reaction. I know Kyle fairly well, and so I just sort of seeing the emotion on his face, seeing the gesture. I saw him go up to the NBA official, Mark Davis, and in essence reenact what had just happened to him. So I had a fair sense of what was going on, but I had a television monitor where I was sitting, and they weren't showing, as you know, replays on the screen in the arena. So it wasn't until after the game that I had an opportunity to see precisely what happened. But I was certainly alarmed, and any incident when people are in such close quarters makes me incredibly nervous. And I was pleased to see that once things were sorted out, that both teams went back to focusing on the competition.
To Kyle Lowry mentioned the mark shouldn't be part of the league. Do you agree with that?
I'm sorry, that what?
Kyle Lowry mentioned the mark shouldn't be part of the business, shouldn't be part of the league. Do you agree with that?
That this person shouldn't be part of it?
Yeah.
Well, as I said earlier, in this case, I think the 1-year ban and the additional fine is appropriate. I certainly understand his sentiment. As I said, there's not some rule book I can look to here for what precisely to do. I try to balance all the different factors here, and once again, I think that this was a fair outcome, and I will say we did take into account how contrite Mr. Stevens was.
Did you have
Last one right here.